Thanks for the reminder, Fred. I forgot. We are recording this, just so you guys know. Fred, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, I'm Fred Cowens. I'm the business service consultant here at Ohio Means Jobs through Jewish Family Services. And I'm the one that's been sending you those annoying emails and saying, this is what I need, and please send me this, and blah, 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 blah. So I'm that guy. So glad to have everyone here, and welcome to the demo.
Awesome. And DJ?
How's it going, everybody? I'm DJ. I'm new to the team as well. I'm the performance analyst manager. So I'm just sitting in to kind of get the feel for everything.
And I'm totally glad that you got the memo that we were in black shirts today.
I was thinking the same thing.
Great minds think alike. So our goal for today is to really first show you a sampling of what a job seeker is going to experience in the event, how they'll get to the event, everything along those lines, just so you understand part of why we ask for the information that we ask for when we go to set up the booths and we set up the event. After we do that, we'll pause for a moment, then we'll go into the administrative side where we can really start to walk through everything and map everything out the way that it needs to go. Like I said, we should wrap up early. I rarely ever run full time, so I can give you back a little bit of time in your day, which is always important. If you guys have questions, I always encourage you to throw them into the chat so that we can see them, and then we'll pause at appropriate times to be able to really start to grab those questions and answer them. Because 9 out of 10 times when you guys have a question, it's something I'm getting ready to tell you about, you're just thinking ahead, which is always great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen, and we will dig into this whole event. Okay, so can everybody see my screen okay?
Not yet.
Technology is great when it works. Let's try it one more time. Okay. Got it now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Let me get everybody's boxes back open so I can see chat and everything if we need to. Okay, there we go. So where I'll start is actually on our website, which is omjcfc.org. Under the virtual events tab, right now you'll see there's a CORRE hiring events page that you can drop down to. On this event, we actually have a video that kind of gives job seekers an overview of the event. This is also where employers understand how they can connect to us to be a part of an event. And then this is the link for registering for the event. The great thing is tomorrow at 8 a.m., this registration button will actually take them to the live event. If they click on it right now, it will actually take them to what we call our pre-fair, which gives the information on when the event will be open, when it will run, and they can actually register and get their profile set up. So it's really simple, kind of an easy way for everyone to guide through and be prepared to participate in the event. So the next thing I want to do is show you on the day of the event, this is exactly what the platform will look like. So when someone shows up, they can see that it's the CORRE July 22nd hiring event. You can see all the players that are responsible for sponsoring the event, and then they will have this ability to log in. If they haven't created their account already, they can always click here as a new user and create their account. And so I'm going to log in now with the test account that we build. And when they log in, the first thing that they're going to see is actually this chat box populate. So you'll see at the top, there's a public chat and a private chat. And the big thing with both the public chat and the private chat is to think of it, Facebook is probably the easiest platform to think of and how the chat works. You will have 2 tabs. You'll have a visitor tab. You can see right here, we're logged in as Ohio Means Jobs, Columbus, Franklin County. Under the visitors are job seekers. We will explain to you how you'll be able to log in as exhibitors. And so this will be the list of employers and community partners that are logged into the event. And the whole idea is that through both the public chat and the private chat, there can be interactions. When you think of public chat, the best way to think of it is somebody who's posting on an organization's Facebook page, where it's something that is public facing and everybody can see what is posted. That isn't always a bad thing. If it's generalized questions about location and that type of thing, it's great. But I caution you as you're having the conversations, if for some reason you have somebody who starts to go into some private information, I would encourage you to move them from a public chat to a private chat, because private chat ends up being a one-on-one instant message environment, because once someone puts something in public chat, we can't go in and erase it. So if they do start to share any of their personal identifiable information, something very specific to their situation, once it's out there until the event closes. So I just always caution everybody with that. A majority of what you do will happen in this private chat tab. Once you initiate a chat, the way it'll be a pop-up box that will pop up, That's great. So you'll have the chat open. You'll be able to talk back and forth. You'll be able to download documents into the chat, and the job seeker can also do the same. So if they happen to have a resume that they want to share with you, they would be able to do that. If you have any collateral materials that might be valuable in the conversation, you can do that as well. The other thing that is new for the platform since we upgraded back in May is that we do have the ability to do video chat as well. The video chat can only be launched from the employer side. So a job seeker can't initiate video chat with you, but you could ask someone, if you're having a great conversation with them by chat, would you be interested in doing this by video chat so that we can, maybe have a better conversation? And if they decide to, it's all housed within the platform. So you don't have to have a separate Zoom account or anything like that. It's everything that can function right out of the platform itself. Where we really encourage our job seekers to take advantage of chat is that if they apply for a position with an employer and they see that that employer has a representative online after they apply, what a great way to introduce yourself and to spur the networking aspect of job search. If I applied for whatever DJ had posted and I saw that he was on the chat, I can introduce myself and explain why I would be an asset to the company. I really would like a chance to interview for the position. I think it'd be a great fit. Here's exactly where I fit in. Conversely, when you guys do in-person events, and if you haven't done one since the mask mandate and stay at home and everything has released, just think to the time before that, how you would strike up conversations as people walk by your table in an in-person event. You can do the same thing by chat. You can always initiate. If you look at the visitor list here, there'll be a little chat icon that will show up right here to the right. You'll be able to click on that and you'll be able to have that conversation with a job seeker. Maybe you want to strike up a conversation with them and see what they're looking for, because you don't have all of the positions posted that you have open. You only have those key positions that you're trying to fill, and you might be able to recruit somebody for another position, or you may have, someone within your network that is looking for exactly what they're looking for. And you can help play matchmaker in that instance and help people as you go. So that's a little about the chat feature. So when you scroll down, we actually have the event divided into different pavilions. And the best way that I can explain pavilions, it's just like going to the Columbus Convention Center. When you walk in, you have the different exhibition halls. So we have one for resources in our community partners. We have one for the service and trades industry, one for customer service and administrative, one for warehouse production, healthcare from both a clinical and non-clinical perspective, and information technology. Now, if you have positions that are posted in multiple industries, you will appear in all of the pavilions. So it isn't like you have to pick one and you're done. You could show up in all 6 if you hit all of the criteria. We just do this because it helps the job seekers really focus on exactly what they're looking for and understanding that those type of positions are available by the employers that are in the pavilion itself. We had an event. It was early last year, probably May of 2020. And I think we had about 65 employers in the event. There was an employer, Autocon, and they focused specifically on IT staffing, and their goal is to help those who are on the autism spectrum. Well, because they were A and it was alphabetical, they had an insane number of visitors, none of which were actually interested in what Autocon had to offer, but because they were the first booth. That was really our spur to this concept of doing the pavilions the way that we do. I will tell you that if you go into the event tomorrow and you feel like you should be in another pavilion, Grace is your person that will be able to help you with that. You can send in any emails can come into info@omjcfc.org, and we'll talk about all the communication here in a little bit that you'll get. but we'll be able to guide everything in that direction for you so that we can fix things on the fly. It isn't like once this is done, it's done. We'll be able to continuously come in and edit and update things. So I'm going to go into the warehousing and production section, and I'm actually going to go into the Cheryl's Cookies booth. And so you can see, immediately this is why logo is so important, because it helps with brand recognition of your organization in the booth, which actually draws individuals in the right way. Actually, I think instead of Cheryl's, I'm going to use Marker Construction. So Marker Construction, this is the logo. If you gave us a banner, it shows up here. A poster would show up here in the back. We have 4 or 5 different booth designs, 5 or 6 different people. So each booth will look a little different from that aspect. When you dig into the booth itself, this is where you really get into what is different about a virtual hiring event than a job board. Because we've all been on Indeed before, we've all been on ohiomeansjobs.com, where you search by a job title, here are the postings, you can apply for the job. The idea here is to really help get in job seekers where they are in tune with what an organization is about, the history of the organization, and to really help them understand that they are probably going to be a good cultural fit, and that the organization is someplace that they would want to work. Because we've all had those employees who have applied for, or those job seekers who have applied for a position before, and 5 minutes into the interview, they're like, yeah, I have no desire to do this. And it's a complete waste of everybody's time and everybody's effort. So we're really trying to help you avoid some of that. So when you go into the company profile, you see not only the location, that type of thing, but then you get into the contact information. So this would be your public facing point of contact that you provided to us. From there, you can provide a profile, which is that overall history of your organization. And then under preferred profiles, we really like to highlight the type of employees that you're looking for. Do you have a big push on diversity? Do you have a big push on hiring veterans? Are there certain skills that you're looking for in all of your employees? And you can see how they kind of outlined that, including highlighting some of the types of positions that they have available. And so this company profile is kind of that initial insight into your organization and exactly who you're looking for when it comes to recruitment aspects. We go to videos. If you have any videos that are hosted on either YouTube or I think YouTube is the primary platform that we use, and they're public facing, you can provide those to us and we can add those in. So again, it gives everyone yet another chance to be able to really understand what your organization's about. We've had employers provide all different types of videos. We have one that has probably 15 different job types that they hire for. And so each type has a different dress code. They did a 3-minute video on dress code so that everyone knows going in exactly what is expected of them. If there's different working conditions, those type of things, benefits, the list could go on and on. But if you have those videos, this is something that we can highlight for you for sure. In the download section, the way that I always talk about the download section, think of all the paper that you would normally have on your table in an in-person hiring event, anything that you would hand to someone. We can put all that in under download so that they can download this informational flyer. So when I pull it, here it is. And so this is something that I'm sure Marker would normally hand out, just as a 1-page front and back printed document, but it also gives them some additional information to speak to. When you're chatting with somebody, you can encourage them. Have you been to our booth and went to our download section? Here's everything that you can find there, or you could, again, even upload it into the chat feature. Links, pretty self-explanatory. We always put your main website. We always put your careers page there. If there's anything else, we have room for, I believe it is 2 additional URLs. So if you have something on employee benefits, that type of thing, employee blogs, anything like that might be of interest, encourage you to help by putting those in there. Social media, this is where you have the ability to leverage Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And again, it's just a chance to really sell who you are and what your organization does. So you can see this takes us right over to Marker's social media, and we can start to see, they introduce some of their staff. Here's some of the community-based stuff that they do. So there's a lot of different types of information they put on their social media, but when I'm a job seeker looking for an employer, anytime I can connect to this type of information, it's really a benefit. So if you can provide us with the URLs for all of your social media, we can put the links in there for that as well. Mailbox, there's actually an in-platform email. So if someone doesn't remember that they can get to this email address right here to send an email and they decide to send something in platform, it would show up in the mailbox. If they do that, whoever the administrative point of contact is will get notification. So it's not like you have to constantly check your mail in the platform. The platform will tell you if you have any type of email that's waiting. Posters, this is that image up here at the top. It just is another way that they can view that. So then really the meat and potatoes of it comes down to the offer section though, right? So when we click on offers, this is each of the positions that you have posted. One of the things that we do encourage, so if you have a position, and I'm gonna just say like their skilled trades position, if they have 50 of those open, I would encourage you to let us know, or you can even edit on your own and put it in parentheses after the job title. So that way everyone knows when they're applying for a position, it isn't a one and done, but I have a shot at getting one of 50 positions, because that sometimes will encourage individuals to apply because they know they're not competing with everyone else for that one specific position. If I go into construction laborer, here's an example. We will copy your job description off of your applicant tracking system if you provide us with the URL, so we can have this so they can see immediately what an employer is looking for, and then when they hit the apply, it will actually connect them right over to the position and they can apply. So this takes all of the guesswork or the remembering or the searching out of the effort for the job seeker. They know that they're wanting to apply for this direct position. Once they hit that apply button, it takes them directly where they need to go to apply for it. They're not remembering cities, or different job titles, because we know how applicant tracking systems that are on your corporate websites can sometimes be difficult to get to a specific position. So we try to eliminate all of that challenge. I'm going to take a pause right there. Do we have any questions right now? Okay, silence. I'm going to take that as being okay. I do want to pick on Kristen for showing up late. I have to. It's just part of it.
Yeah. Hi, guys. Thanks for letting me join.
You knew I would do it. So I'm going to show you now how to go in administratively and look at booths. Well, actually, before that, I'm going to pop over to our Job Center booth for a second. So this is our Job Center booth. One of the things that we have that is a little different in our booth for our individualized career services, we actually don't have an applicant tracking system or an online form that we use for people to enroll. It is a PDF that they have to either fill out and submit to us, or a paper application where they come into the Job Center. So in this instance, when I hit apply, it's just going to say you have shown your interest successfully. So I'll show you what that means in a second, but it does record down their interest in those. There are lists that we can provide to you from that aspect. So what I'm going to do now is go in on the backside, and I'm actually going to log in under our Job Center login, so you can kind of see what that looks like. Okay, so now I'm in on the administrative side. On the administrative side, you will see that you have all your basic corporate information. Here's your logo, here's your public facing point of contact, all of your social media URLs, your company profile, everything that it takes to build a majority of the content in your booth. If you have a banner and poster, they're here. Downloads are under this downloads tab. You can always add additional files. Here's the descriptions that can be edited, that type of thing as well. So everything is contained right in here. If you have mail, when you log in administratively, it would show up in this mailbox. So that way you would be able to see everything there as well.
I'm on a demo for the.
So that way you could easily see exactly where you're at with that type of information as well. Chat will actually give a chat history of public chat. You'll see it right here. And then there's also one for private chat as well. So if you want to go in and see who has chatted, who hasn't, we can actually show you all of that information as well. Your offers show up here. And so you will see each of them listed. There is an edit component over here as well. The other thing that you can do with the offers, if you don't have an applicant tracking system or you didn't provide us with the URL, you can see by hitting that list, here are the people that have applied that have shown interest for us to reach out to. So in that instance where we didn't have a web form or an ATS that we could link to, we do have the ability to pull into that. The place that's probably more important for all of you is on the visitor link. So if I go back to here, anyone that is logged in, the moment they hover over a booth and hit the plus and go to this page, it will actually populate their login information, their profile on this visitor list. So you will have the ability to log in administratively throughout the event and see how many people have come into your booth and exactly who they are. The great thing about this, if you hover over the individual profile and you go to this little information icon right here and click on it, it will pull up the individual profile. And so you can see here is the name, the email address, here's everything as far as their address and everything. You won't see date of birth and you won't see gender. We do collect both of those on our end administratively, but you won't be able to see those in the profile screen, but you will see things like industry of last position, highest education level, years in the industry, that type of thing. If the job seeker has also downloaded a resume to their profile, you will be able to actually see the resume by clicking on this button right here, and it will pull up a resume. So you can see there's my resume that I added to the sample. So that way it gives you a little more insight into the individual. So the reason that we really encourage you to use this visitor list is all too often there will be someone who actually has relatable work experience to your positions, and they may not know that they do. I think that happens way too often in the world of work where people don't understand the true value of transferable skills. So you as hiring managers, as recruiters, can go in and look at the individuals who at least said, I have an interest at working at Ohio Men's Shops, Columbus, Franklin County. I went into the booth to look around. So you can go into the profile, you can download the resumes and say, you know what? I actually think I have a position they might be good for based off their experience. You have their contact information, so you can actually reach out to them. So it is another sourcing tool for sure to use the visitor list in that way. The other thing that you can do is take this list and cross-reference it with your applicant tracking system to see they came to my booth, did they actually apply for anything? So that way you can also see the return investment from being in the hiring event with us. And Fred will talk a little more about why that is so important for all of us in a minute. The other nice thing though, is that if you check the box and you highlight in this nature, you can actually come down and you can export into Excel. And so once we do that, oh my gosh, it's actually opening on the right monitor. I'm so proud today. You'll get a spreadsheet like this, and it ends up basically having everything in one line that is in their profile. And it even has in this column R, a link to their resume. Now, the big thing about this to remember is that throughout the event, the resumes will be available. We do, however, at the end of the event, and it will probably be Tuesday of next week, we will have the vendor that hosts the platform for us go in and scrub all of the job seeker data out, which means that the resumes will go away. So if you are one that likes to mine resumes and keep those on file to use those to reference back, you know, who you're going to talk to, who you're going to potentially recruit, I would encourage you while the event is running or first thing on Monday, go in and pull down any of the resumes that you really have an interest in. You can also work with that spreadsheet idea throughout the event, and you can use mail merge. There's a lot of different ways you can reach out to individuals. If you have reached out to someone and you want to remember that, you can also use this little favorite so you don't re-communicate or re-look at a profile multiple times. I think we've all been there before where we have a list that we're working and you accidentally click into the same person or the same profile multiple times, and it gets really frustrating. So that is a way that you can highlight who you've worked and who you haven't. So there are a couple of things communication-wise that we probably need to talk through. The first is that tomorrow morning before 8 a.m., you'll receive an email from me that will have all of your login information and all of the URLs that you will need. You'll get the URL for the front public-facing site. That URL will actually have your chat logins tied to it. So every organization gets 10 different chat users with your platform. So it will be a VZRR number with an underscore, and then it will be chat 1 through chat 10. We'll also give you the password. And so what that means, I'll use the Job Center as an example. So we will have one administrative password to get into the back end that we'll talk about in a second. But if I had DJ, Fred, and Grace all working chat with me, and we wanted to divide and conquer, I could assign chat 1, chat 2, chat 3, and chat 4 to us as individuals representing the organization. We could all log in at different times, or we could all log in at the same time, and we would all show up within that employer exhibitor side of the chat window. So that's the great thing, is that you don't have to be on the entire time. We really encourage employers to be on from 8 to 5 Monday through Friday if you can, because that's when the event seems to be the busiest. And that's the normal hours for this type of work. We also understand that you get busy. So if you can be on for a few hours, it's no harm, no foul. We totally understand that, but that's why we want to give you the 10 logins so you can share the wealth in attending the event and manning the chat so that you can have interactions. If you have the event up, and you'll do it from a similar, front side like this, you don't have to always have the window up. You can also have it in the background, and it will chime when you have a chat. Just like you get a notification from Facebook Messenger or Teams or any of the others, there is a chime that is associated with the chat. So then you know to go to that tab, and you can have the communication that you need to have. Most of you have probably worked in a chat environment, because sometimes it can take a while to have a conversation with somebody. Other people can engage really quickly. So it is definitely possible to multitask and do different types of things. The other thing that will be in that email that you will get tomorrow morning, though, will be the URL for the backend for the administrative side, along with the user ID and password for that. The one thing that we ask about all of the logins, and this goes for the administrative and chat 1 through chat 10, as far as users, is to please not change the password. And the reason that we ask you to not change the password is that if there's any troubleshooting that Grace or myself will need to do with your account, we can get into your account as well. If you go changing passwords, it just makes all of the troubleshooting and all of that a lot more difficult. And so we ask that you please don't do that. So that's all of the first communication that you'll get from us before 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Once the event closes, we will actually go in and pull down full visitor lists for each of you as employers. And then if you don't have your offers set up where they point to your applicant tracking system, and we're generating a list there, we will actually pull those lists down as well. And we will email all of that out to you. Normally we say by noon on Tuesday. It might be close of business on Tuesday is probably the fair date to say, just because sometimes we get a little busy. Life happens. We all know how that works. So by Tuesday, you'll have a full list of all of the visitors that came to your booth. And if you don't have your offers pointing to your ATS, we'll have a full list of those individuals who have an interest in applying. Now, you guys can go in anytime you want and pull this down yourself. We just do this as a service to you because we know how you can get busy, and this isn't your only job, for the next couple of days. So we want to make sure that we give you all the data that you can. In that email, when we send out the lists, we will also have a URL for a survey. If you can take that survey, it's very helpful. I'm sorry about that, Brittany. I know every now and then internet can be an issue. So if you are linking all of your offers to your applicant tracking system, then we won't have a list of people who had an interest in applying for you. We will only have the visitor list. However, if you don't have it linked to your ATS, like with the Job Center, how I just clicked and it said, thank you for your interest, we can pull down that offer list and we will send those out with the visitor list. But we'll get all that to you guys by close of business on Tuesday. And if you can take 5 minutes and fill out that survey, it really, really, really helps us, because we know if the platform is effective. If it's not, where do we stand with all of that? And then Fred, do you want to talk about the follow-up emails that you do after that?
Yes, thanks, Scott. 4 weeks after the event, I will be sending out a survey about what you thought about the job fair and how it worked out for you, and how many people have you interviewed and how many people have you hired. So the reason why I send it out 4 weeks after the event, so it gives you time to talk to people, to possibly hire, as well. So that survey is very, very important to us. It actually tells us if this is worthwhile or or what we can improve on. Okay, so we do send that out, and that would be 4 weeks after this event. All right, and the more information you can give us, the better off it is for us as well. Okay, thanks, Scott.
Awesome. And Fred is right, because we want to be able to offer things like this as a service to you as employers. There are other things that we are working on, including getting back to doing in-person open interviews in the center. So our big thing is really understanding how we can serve you as the employer the best way possible, because we know that there are job seekers out there that are actively looking. It's a matter of figuring out how we get the right job seekers connected with you. I did just look while Fred was talking, and we currently have 159 people registered to attend this event. So it should be attended pretty well. Hopefully we can get some really good results from that.
Yeah. And also too, Scott, I'm sorry, that survey only takes 2 minutes to do. So it's not very difficult.
Yep, definitely. Do you guys have any questions? Like 32 minutes, a lot of information. Just want to make sure that you guys feel very comfortable. You can either mute yourself, ask the question, or throw it in chat. Doesn't matter to me.
Quiet group, Scott.
Dude, I know. I mean, it's been a long week and it's just Wednesday, so I can totally relate. But yeah, definitely a quiet group today.
Or should we say smart group, maybe, huh?
Maybe that's it. I don't want to say that I'm that good, because I'm never that good that I covered everything. So the big things, I can't stand silence. Y'all will very quickly figure that out as well.
Can we get access to this video?
Yeah, so we'll get this hosted privately on YouTube, where we can send you the link, and then you guys can go back and rewatch it. That part is not a problem.
Fantastic. I want to share part of this information with my team, so it's going to be great if we can get access to the video.
Yep, definitely. The other thing that I will tell you, the email tomorrow will come from me. Grace and I kind of work as a team in helping take care of all of your needs. When things pop up, she's like, thanks for giving me work. I saw the look, Grace. The best thing you can do is email myself or email info@omjcfc.org. I'm going to put a few things in the chat for you guys. So the info@omjcfc.org is an email address that me and my entire team share. So if I'm in a meeting doing something else, Grace would be able to see those emails as well. So that's a handy way for you to be able to connect. If you do like to talk on the phone, call 614-559-5052. My cell phone will be in my signature. I can promise you I probably won't be able to answer a phone call if you call. Now, what I can answer is a text message. So if you're comfortable texting and you're having a little bit of an issue, you can always text me to my cell. And then if I can't get to it, I can, then through Teams get with Grace and have her follow up with you guys. The big thing is we're here as support. Like, I can't say that enough. We have, oh my gosh, we've had almost 300 employers in the last 15 months be a part of these events. We've had over 6,000 job seekers participate in these events over the last 15 months as well. So we understand being new, we understand being seasoned, we understand the desire to get the maximum outcome that we can from this. So whatever you have, if you're scratching your head and you're thinking, it just doesn't feel right, let us know. Like, that's what we're here for. One thing that I didn't mention, and I'm a little remiss because normally I remember this right off the bat. So if we are in, let me get my cursor back to the right place. So if you are in as a chat agent, which means you are all the way out here and you have this chat window up, human nature as a person in general is going to be to want to go and explore, right? If you leave this main screen and you are logged in as a chat agent, when you are finished looking around, please log out and log back in. For some reason, the platform gets a little angry if you come down and you go into booths and you are logged in as an exhibitor in the chat will error at this moment. So if you want to look around, we get it. It's not a problem, but just use the log out and then log back in again once you do that, so you don't have any errors. And if you do have errors and you can't figure out why, let us know. We'll help walk you through it, but that's probably going to be the first thing that we're going to tell you. The other big thing, and I actually didn't do this, and I'm shocked because normally I'm really, really good about this. You cannot be logged in as a chat agent and in the administrative backend at the same time. The logins will conflict and it'll cause all kinds of chaos. So what I normally recommend is, if you use Chrome in particular, you can be in the front site as a chat agent in your regular Chrome. And then I don't know if you are aware or not, but you can do an incognito window, which is Control-Shift-N, and it will open up in a black screen like this. You could log into the back end in this nature, and you'll be able to log in here and they won't conflict. So you'll be able to be working in the administrative end in the incognito window, and then still be in chat up front. If you don't like using incognito windows, you could always use Firefox or Edge for one and Chrome for the other, but it just 9 out of 10 times, the two things that I just mentioned to you will be the two issues that people have. So if it happens, don't be like, oh my gosh, I don't remember what he said. Please ask us, but more than likely that's where we're going to direct you first. Okay, we are at 11:41. It's lunchtime. Anybody have any other questions? Okay, watch for an email for the administrative point of contact tomorrow before 8 a.m. from me. It will have all your login, everything, which is super important, so you'll be able to get into the event the way that you need to. And then just remember, if you do have questions, feel free to hit myself up or to call the main number, 614-559-5052, or email us at info@omjcfc.org. Email me, text me. Like, we're seriously, I cannot say enough that our entire job for the next 72 hours is to focus on making sure that you guys are taken care of, your booths are working properly, and you're able to do everything that you need to do. And then on the flip side, same with job seekers. It's really a big focus for us. I'm really excited with the number of pre-registrants that we already have. That's very encouraging. Hopefully we'll hit 250 to 300 people for this event, which I think would be great, considering we understand how difficult it's been to attract talent right now. So I think that's definitely a positive for us. All right, one last chance. Anybody have anything?
No, sir. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate
Awesome,
all the information.
Yes, definitely. So now you get 18 minutes back. You can't say I'm not the giving kind anymore, okay? All right, guys, if you have any questions or anything, please be sure to reach out and we will be in communication tomorrow, okay? All right, thanks for your time today. Bye, everybody.
Be safe.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you.